Hello everyone, welcome back. Savage is here, coming back with part 8 of What If Deku Had Weird Soul Magic. And now let's get right into it. As after Midoriya received the information that Ida have met his demise on the hand of Stain, the hero killer, and the next day, all of Class 1A goes to Ida's funeral, as Midoriya is just there, standing in front of Ida's grave, one of his only two friends, beside Araka. Everybody of the class is sad. Ida's family is there, his father and his mother. Sadly, his big brother couldn't come today because he's still in a critical condition in the hospital, as Midoriya is just so sad, while Nero is nearby sitting on the top of a tree. After the entire funeral is over, everybody goes, but Izuku sees Ida's family going, but immediately he follows them, asks if he can see their oldest son, because he has something that his little brother told him to, something that he promised. So, in the end, after Midoriya gone with Ida's parents to the hospital, he meets with Ida's older brother, Tensei Ida, as Izuku comes into the room to see Tensei on the bed, as he said, "Oh, hello, you must be Midoriya?" As Izuku said, "Yes, I'm Izuku Midoriya. I was one of your brother's classmates." As Tensei said, "So you're his friend. He talks a lot about you, and how much you're of a great person, with such a heroic heart." As Tensei started crying, saying, "And I'm his older brother and I couldn't even go to his funeral. I told him not to go for revenge. I told him to stay put and not do anything stupid, but he didn't listen. If only I was so pathetic, maybe, just maybe." As Izuku said, "Don't say that. Ida saw you as an amazing person. You were his number one, his inspirer. You inspired him through and through. Every time he was talking about great heroes, he was always mentioning you. You were a shining light for him. He wanted to be just an amazing hero just like you." As Izuku started tearing up, while Tensei said, "Thank you for that. But still, if only I was," as Izuku said, "Never say if only I was. Don't say that. You tried your best. It just wasn't good enough." As Izuku gulps his throat and said, "And that's why Ida loves you so much, because you never give up. You were inspiring to him. He asked a favor from me." As Tensei said, "A favor?" As Izuku said, "Yes. I can heal you, Tensei." As Tensei said, "Do you have a... You can't heal me. I'm sorry. A lot of doctors try to use their quirks on me, but I'm permanently damaged. I can't be saved." As Izuku said, "You're wrong. Ida, before he passed away, he asked me to heal you. My power allows me to heal myself, but with training, I believe I can heal other people, to use it on people instead of just myself. I want to heal you. I'm here giving you a promise, but a promise that I will gonna heal you, Tensei Ida. Those were your brother's last wishes, and I'm gonna make sure that they came true. I'm not gonna let his last words go to waste. I'm not gonna let his last wishes just unachieved. I'll make sure that you return to the street as the amazing hero that he saw you are. I promise you that the bloodline of the hero in Genium is not gonna stop today." As immediately Tensei just looks into Midoriya, with Izuku having all this determination in his eyes. Tensei smiles, saying, "You're just like how he said you are. Amazing." As Tensei said, "Well then, I'll wait. If those were my brother's wishes, to heal me, and if he believes that you can heal me, I'll wait for as long as you need to. Become a great hero yourself. Make sure that you get stronger, and when the time is right, I'll be waiting here for you. If those were my brother's last wishes, it will be very selfish of me if I just refuse your offer now. As Izuku smiles, saying, I promise you. I promised Ida that I'm gonna heal you, and I'm never gonna let go of that promise. As after that, Izuku left the hospital, returning home, taking a sleep for the night. And the next day, all of Class 1A goes into school as normal, and Aizawa informed them by their final exams, as after 1 week they take the written portion of the exam and then the physical part, which is nothing interesting happened really. The normal things happen, except that right now Class 1A only have 19 students. So it's either Aizawa have two choices here: put a new student, which he can't because there aren't really any, as he said, worthy students to join the Class 1A for now, so there's only 19 students, which that means that won't gonna help in the final exam since it's 2v1. So to combat that, Aizawa prepared a special final exam for Shinso later, so he will not gonna participate in the final exam, which means that only the 18 students from Class 1A will participate, while Shinso will gonna have another final exam later after this one is over with Aizawa. And right now, when Izuku's match comes, he works with Bakugo, of course. Normal things happen, All Might attack them and everything, but the interesting thing happens when Midoriya managed to take Bakugo and run away from All Might, as they are right now hiding in an alleyway. Bakugo breathing heavily, saying, I told you not to help me. Why do you stop? Just leave me alone, you! As Izuku said, bind! As immediately Bakugo gets captured by multiple chains. As Izuku looks into Bakugo, saying, can you shut up for 1 minute? That's exactly why we could never have a normal conversation, because you keep yelling. Listen here, Katsuki, Bakugo. I know that you know that none of us can defeat All Might on its own. So it's either we work together or, as immediately Bakugo said, I'd rather be defeated than working with you. As Izuku said, don't say that. That's not like you. As Bakugo said, rich coming from you. Have you looked in the mirror lately? As Izuku said, what do you mean? As Bakugo said, you're not the Midoriya that I know, not the Deku that... As Izuku said, what? The weakling one? The one that has always been on the ground beneath your feet? Is that all about it? You're just jealous? As Bakugo said, shut up! You ruined everything for me. You stopped me from joining the USJ. You stopped me from having a final great fight in the sport festival. And now this! As immediately Izuku said, I just can't believe you. You're just unbelievable. As Bakugo said, well, I'm never gonna work with you. You're not the Deku that I know. As Izuku said, is that so? As Midoriya said in his mind,
just like I thought. He's just jealous, like the rest of them. I'm gonna have to handle things on my own. I don't need the help of a weakling like him.
As immediately Izuku just looks into Bakugo, saying, I guess you should just stay here. As Bakugo said, what are you gonna do? You can't just leave me here, you little... As immediately Midoriya just chops Bakugo on the neck, knocking him out, before leaving him on the ground, releasing him from the binds. As he said, I'm gonna handle this situation on my own. I don't need your help. While Nero is watching this from the top of a lamp, a street lamp, as Izuku holds his grimoire, saying, but if I need to defeat All Might, I'm gonna have to be more powerful. As Izuku holds the grimoire closer into his chest, while All Might right now is still protecting the exit, saying, where are those two? I can't leave the exit because they might wait for me to run away. So all what I have to do is just wait. As he's waiting until suddenly he hears a voice saying, as All Might being pushed into the bottom of the earth, while he's saying, what the? As he looks up, he see Midoriya flying in the air with a black wing, a sharp pointy tail, and a black horn piercing through his skull. As immediately All Might seeing this, he said, young Midor, as immediately Midoriya continues saying,
be crushed, be squished, broken to pieces, riddled with holes.
As immediately All Might go deeper into the floor. The crack of the fake city all cracks. The buildings are start literally falling down from the earthquake that is happening. As All Might, after the pressure of the gravity stops, he stand up saying, it's that thing again, from the USJ and the sport festival. As he said, it seems that you learned how to control that form of yours, young Midoriya. As immediately All Might jumps on the top of a building before jumping into Midoriya. As immediately before he slams his fist into Midoriya's face, Izuku flies out of his direction before he said,
disappear.
As he just being pushed very far from Midoriya. As All Might slam into a building saying, that's a new one. Guess it's the same effect, just a different way of saying it. As immediately he looks into Midoriya saying, for somebody that's all about talking, you don't seem to be very talkative. As immediately Midoriya said,
iron lances.
As a bunch of iron lances start coming through the floor while All Might dodging them all before he said, Detroit Smash! As he throws an air pressured smash into Midoriya in the middle of the air before Izuku said,
return.
As the air just goes back into All Might and All Might being thrown multiple buildings away. As Izuku keeps talking saying,
be crushed, smashed, waves of flames, lightning lance.
As he keeps bombarding All Might with multiple commands and All Might is completely out of his league here. As immediately Izuku said,
bind.
As All Might being chained up by multiple chains, as he's being held into the ground while immediately Izuku said,
storm of blades.
As a giant portal open up in the sky and multiple thousands, millions of blades start raining. As All Might immediately goes trying to protect himself by going inside a building saying, it's raining swords? Seriously? As inside the building, Izuku immediately said,
split it open.
As the whole building split in half. While Midoriya keeps attacking All Might, he immediately binds him again before keeping bombarding him and attacking him. Waves of flames, lightning lances, all what could possibly come into mind Izuku is doing. As this is actually start getting out of hand. Principal Nezu and Aizawa start noticing this as they scream in the microphone saying, Midoriya, stop! As while Izuku isn't stopping, but inside his mind, darkness is covering him, eating him whole, as he's falling deeper and deeper while he's saying, why can't I feel my limbs? As he hears a voice saying,
here you are, finally. Just give up. You don't have to fight. Just let me do the job for you. Just stay put and let me take over your body, kid. Were in control for far too long. Now you're on the show now here.
As Izuku said, wait, is that voice? No, I can't. But it's too dark. I can't feel my limbs. As he just hearing All Might's voice, just telling Midoriya to stop while he's saying, I can hear All Might, but I can't do anything. I'm all tired. As Izuku is almost falling into darkness before suddenly Nero from the outside world immediately flies into Midoriya's and start poking him on his forehead, poking him enough to the point that Midoriya came back into reality as he said, what? As he looks to see All Might all bandaged, well, tied up by multiple chains before Izuku said, unbind, as All Might getting freed, and he's right now smoking while coughing a bit of blood, saying, you weren't holding any punches, young Midoriya, as when Izuku looks around, the whole city is flat. The buildings are completely destroyed, the ground is cracked, some places on fire, the streets are all but flipped upside down, and there are thousands of swords just shattered and scattered around the area as Izuku flowed down, as then his dark mode just disappeared, as then he started getting a shock of pain as he said, ouch, 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 as after that, the recovery girl Aizawa and Principal Nezu and the rest of the UA staff comes to see the fight is already stopped, as immediately All Might's Aizawa said, he stopped, as immediately All Might said, Aizawa, as immediately said, right, as Cementos using, a wall of cement separate All Might from the rest, to make sure nobody sees All Might, while the recovery girl checks on Midoriya to see him all, fine, but he feels pain, so she healed him. As immediately Izuku just sitting on the ground with an arrow on his head, as Aizawa asked him what was going on, as Izuku said, I don't know, I just zoomed out for a minute. I guess I was sleepwalking again, as Aizawa said, thank goodness you weren't too violent this time. If it was anybody else than All Might, he would have, as Izuku said, he would have, as Aizawa said, don't worry about it, Midoriya. Didn't you say you're gonna train to be strong enough to heal Todoroki? As Izuku said, right. As immediately, Izuku asks, saying, where is Bakugo? Nero, do you know where's Bakugo? As Nero just flies away from Midoriya's head. As Izuku said, as it's almost like she's pointing him into somewhere, as Aizawa follows the bird with Midoriya, as when they come they see Baku just knocked on the floor, as Aizawa said, seemed that you knocked him out, as Izuku said, knocked him out? Yeah, I guess I did that, as Aizawa said, well, legally we could count this as a victory, because you captured All Might with your binding ability. However, Midoriya, that was very, very, very wrong from you. Knocking out your teammate and then proceeding to beat up All Might. As Izuku said, sorry. As Aizawa said, we're gonna have a long talk about this later. But for now, I guess you've and Bakugo pass. As Midoriya just being happy a bit, but at the same time scared because he still felt that chilling darkness. And if it wasn't for Nero just peeking him on his forehead, he might have lost himself. In the end, Baku wake up in the infirmary and everything happens. Baku being absolutely angry that Midoriya knocked him out and just proceeded to beat up All Might. All Might is being healed and Izuku checks on All Might to make sure he's fine because he still has PTSD from the last time that he gone sleepwalking, as All Might told him that he's completely fine, nothing to worry about, young Midoriya. Just, I need a minute of resting, or that's all. As, Aizawa told Midoriya to leave All Might alone. In the end, everybody goes back home and Midoriya and Baku passed, although Baku is very angry. When he saw Midoriya, he screamed at him, telling him that he'll gonna beat him next time. He'll show him who's the strongest and everything. And now, and the next day, Class 1A have been informed by Aizawa that it's time for they to go into their summer training camp. Every one of them. A training camp that is special to train them on their quirks. Exactly what Midoriya was waiting for this whole time. Training on their quirks to make them stronger. As Izuku's in his mind, this is my chance. I need to get stronger in this time on that camp so I can be strong enough to heal Todoroki and Tensei. As Nero is still on Midoriya's head, while Izuku said, alright. After which, all of Class 1A proceeded to go into that training camp. But, hello, this is Editor Severed here. I apologize about the mic quality in today's video because it appears that I've been talking or a bit too close to the microphone, so it sounds a bit, windy, I guess. You get what I'm talking about. Anyway, I kinda already finished editing the video and I am too lazy to redo the whole thing. Because I already did, this is the third time I do it, so I'm not doing it again. Screw you. Deal with it. Anyway, bye.